Welcome. Let's look at code editors. Now, a code editor is basically the a software that you're going to use to write your script. Okay, and there are a couple of them out there. One of them is Notepad++. This is a free code editor, but it has limited functionalities. Nevertheless, you can use it to code or program all your codes. All right, and then we have brackets. If you want to edit, download this, just Google it or go to Notepad++ and have it downloaded. I personally use this for editing my CSS files. Okay, so I use this basically for styling. Okay, we have brackets. Brackets is also one of the, if not the most sophisticated free open source text editor out there. All right. Excuse me. It's made by Adobe and it's also cross-platform. If you're looking for a code editor that is free and has almost all the functionalities, all right, and also rivals paid text editors, then you should download Bracket. All right, it has a lot of functionalities and it's really good for programming. There is Sublime. This is not free, but it is very useful and it's also cross-platform. All right, you can download it and install it, and you will have to activate it because it's not for free. We have Coda. This works best with Mac users. All right, so if you're a Mac user and you really want to download a paid, you want to use a paid code editor or text editor, then I will advise you to use Coda. But if you don't want to spend any money on a text editor, just download Note+, all right, or Brackets. All right, now let's talk about plugins. Plugins for code editors are extensions that you can use to enhance your coding. All right, if you look at Brackets below, before the footer, you will see some of the most popular text plugins. All right, there's Emmet. This one is very useful. I will advise you to download this because we're not gonna have time to actually be coding to code HTML and CSS files. All right, so I would advise you to download Emmet, and also this one, the W3C validation. This is from W3 Schools. Now, W3 Schools, I'm not sure if this is a company, but it should be an organization and that oversees web content. Okay, and you can actually learn a lot here. All right, it's the world's largest web developer site. All right, you can learn a lot here, and what they do is they have a plugin that validates your website, all right, your web content, and they ensure that your web content are up to par. They are basically up to standard. All right, so I actually advise all web developers to use this plugin because we will download it. All right, now this is what I want to tell you something. As a self-taught, just like you, I will advise you to take some time, all right, and visit this site, w3schools.com. If you don't know about this site, now this site you can learn a lot here. Now you should understand that the best way to learn is to familiarize yourself with something, with the content of what you want to know. All right, because basically when you're watching videos like this, you're not watching to read content, you're watching to understand the content, right? But I mean, even the professors will advise you that you need to not understand something and try to understand it later, and that's how you're going to learn better. All right. So if you visit this website, w3schools.com, there are a lot of languages, programming languages here. All right. We're going to be using Bootstrap. We're going to be using jQuery. We're going to be using Ajax. We're going to be using PHP and SQL. So I would advise you to take probably a day or two off. All right, visit the site and go through their some of the programming languages that we are going to be using. Excuse me. It's very, very important. All right, you just read it, and then you're not going to understand it, right? But acquainting yourself first with it will help you understand better than getting exposed to it for the first time. So for those of you who are new to web development, I'll advise you to go through these tutorials, all right, and learn it. Just read through it, all right. Just read through it. Take a day or two off, go through it, and you can take a sample quiz. You can take a sample quiz just to test your knowledge, all right. Then you come back to the course. It will help you a lot. It will make you understand twice, faster than usual. Okay, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go straight to the coders and try to download Emmet, install Emmet, all right, and also the validation, the W3 validation, all right. So inside Notepad++ right now, and for those of you who don't know, Notepad now has a workspace, all right. So you can just add your folders and toggle through your files and folders instead of coming here to open your files all the time. All right, they did well. They fixed this. Okay, now if you want to install a plugin for Notepad++, all you have to do is come to plugin, click on, hover your mouse over plugin manager and click on show plugin manager, and you can see that we have a bunch of plugins here. All right, let's see if we can find something to install from here. Emmet, this is Emmet, all right. So we want to install Emmet, so we're going to just click on it and we'll click on install, all right. And then when we're done, we just close the browser and then restart the browser, all right. So let's go to brackets. Now this is bracket. One thing I like about bracket is it has a live preview over here. This is a live preview for brackets, so you can work and see what you're doing at the same time, all right. It also has a split. You can split your page into two, vertically or horizontally, all right. So you can probably want to compare two codes and see what's happening and stuff like that. You can be working here and also you can work here. Excuse me. All right, but what we want to do now is install the plugins, right? So when you click on file and you click on extension manager, the extension manager pops up, and you're gonna have to wait for a couple of seconds. Well, it depends on how fast your computer is. And over here you're going to type the plugin that you want to install. All right, so if you want to install Emmet, all you have to do is click in here and then type Emmet, and you will see the plugin here, Emmet. So all you have to do is click here to install. I've got already installed, so I don't have to install it again. The same thing goes for W3 validation. All right, now I'm going to create a file here quickly. I'll just do Control N, and I'm gonna save this file very quickly. I'll save it as Emmet .html. All right, that's an extension for HTML files. Now I just created the file and I get a notification from W3C validation that there's a problem. and it tells me that I'm missing out something. Right now, I'm missing the doc type, the heading. So I'm going to use emmet to just build something that you probably spend 10 minutes doing, right? So I will just go like exclamation mark and hit the tab, and you can see I have got the skeleton of HTML already installed. I mean, already popping up. This is the work of emmet. All right. When I save this, you can see the validation disappears, the problem disappears, and I get a check mark here, telling me, all right, your code is now validated. You are now up to par. You're now programming in the standard way. So these are the two plugins I want you to have. You can go ahead and search and install all useful plugins and extensions for your coder. All right, but emmet and W3 validator, they are very, very good. So go ahead and install it. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next lecture.